Okay, I'm going to make another worthless video, worthless nostalgic video, because I'm a worthless nostalgic dude who likes talking about shit that I've had for a long time. And believe you me, I've had this bike right here for like 40 years. So I'm going to talk about this little thing, and I'm just going to bore the crap out of you for a few minutes. Somebody who likes bikes might find something interesting about it, because there's still quite a few of these bikes around, but I have not yet seen one. So if you got one of these, you're one of the few guys that do have one. And believe you, finding a bike like this these days is pretty damn hard to find. So I'm going to be doing a little moving as I go. So I'm going to go up a little bit on this and talk about this bike for a second. Let me go down here. Okay. If you look at the wheels, those are not stock wheels. I had to replace the wheels a few years back. Let me back up a little bit here, because the other one just wore out. Let me get on the other side here. And 27-inch, I believe 1 3/4, 1 3/8, 1 by 1 3/8. Not the super narrow, but I wanted a little beefier one anyway. So the other ones were wore out. There was a bike shop that was going out of business, and the dude still happened to have a couple of 27-inch bike rims laying around, so I snatched them from him, and he put the whole thing on for me. He did the whole thing, man. He kept my original derailleurs and just hubs, swapped everything out. It's got the original drivetrain right here. I'm trying not to get in this video. Right there, original drivetrain. The pedals are a little different. If you look at the pedals, I don't like grippy pedals. I don't like the pedals with the stirrups in them. It's just not the kind of bike rider I am. So the same guy had these, so I snatched these two. These are just comfy pedals that you can ride barefooted or with shoes on, and they're comfortable either way. Okay, the rack. I wanted to put a rack on it because, you know, occasionally I might jam over to Walmart, pick something up that I don't want to carry all the way home. So, and plus I think the rack looks kind of cool. So I searched around on online, and I ended up finding this one. This one's a cheapo. Paid about 30 bucks for it, if I remember. It's a Bell. I've had this on here a few years, and I've searched for this rack since then, and I have never found it again. So that's kind of the way it is with stuff like this. You buy a rack. Same thing with the seat right here. I can't find the seat anymore either. A lot of shit you buy, you snatch it up, and then a year later you want to buy it again, and it's gone. So, but anyway, to mention about the rack. Very seldom are you going to be able to find a rack and just be able to use all the parts that came with it and it fit right on your bike without having to go to the hardware store. And it was the same way with this one. They're all universal. I didn't have any problem with the bottom part. This part, this height part fit. All this comes with the bike. What I had a problem with is securing it to the frame. And if you can see, these are called P-clamps, and they got rubber in the middle of them. You can buy these on different sizes. Hopefully I'm not in this. Okay, so I went down and bought some P-clamps, about 3 or 4 different sizes, till I found one that fit my frame. And you can see how I put them on. And then this part right here fits in, and then these move this way and this way, and the whole thing shifts around. So you kind of put it on there loose, and then you do your adjusting, you know, height-wise, and then you just tighten everything up, and it worked out perfect. I love it. I like the looks of it. So I got the cool beachcomber pedals that look easy on my feet. Let's go to the wheels. These wheels, let me get a close-up here. These wheels, you can see the tread on them. They're street tires. I don't want no knobbies, I don't want nothing with noise. I want comfort. So I bought them street tires, they're made in Japan. I found these online also. No way am I gonna find these ever again either. I didn't have very good luck. There's the ice cream man. Anybody want an ice cream, dude? Okay. I didn't have good luck with tires. I put tires on. They wouldn't be true. And what I mean is when you go down the street, you could feel it. You could feel it in the tire. You could feel the imperfection in the tire. It'd be like a ba-boom, 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 and you feel it. Every rotation in the same spot, and it's just that the tire was just not perfect. I went through like 2 or 3 sets of tires, and I never could get that out of it. And then I bought these. And these were a little expensive, and they had a good rating, and I knew if they were made in Japan, they had to be good tires, so I got them, and I'll be damned, I put these things on, and I've been sailing ever since, man. I haven't had that imbalance problem at all. No noise, no feel. At a certain rotation, you know, you don't feel nothing. It's just perfect. So, God, man, I wouldn't take these tires off for nothing. Had them on a long time. I don't put a lot of miles on bikes. I'm not like a jock rider. You know, I don't ride like 30 miles a day and shit. I use it to keep my old ass in shape. So I do ride it, and I do ride it damn near daily. But I don't ride super long distances. Okay, anyway, let me back up here. I got this bike, like I said, 40 years ago. This bike was given to me by a previous girlfriend. She didn't ride it. You can see it's a pretty good sized frame bike. She was a big girl. And I was seeing her at the time, and I didn't have a car, and I was actually buying her car on a payment plan. And in the meantime, she gave me this bike, so I was making trips out to her house on the bike. So anyway, that's how I got it. This was a one-owner bike. She bought this bike brand new. I think she bought this bike in San Diego. Anyway, the bike was purple. Can't stand purple. So what I did was I went over to a local paint store, and I had them mix me up like a half a dozen spray paint cans with car paint grade paint in them, and the color of my choosing. And you can see, I don't know how good the color comes across in this video, but that's the color I chose. So that is a one-of-a-kind custom paint job, and you can see looking close that it needs to be painted again, because this was 30 years ago, and I ain't stripping this sucker down, painting it again. This is the way it's going to stay. So anyway, I like it. I like the color of the paint. Okay, let me go over here again. Excuse the tilt. Look on the front of the bike. You can see the emblem. You can see that it says Campania. That's the only thing I kept on the bike when I stripped it down. I wanted that memory of it to know what kind of bike it was. Now the story as it goes, as the flight grows, for me reading a lot of forums and stuff, so I don't know how accurate this info is, but from what I understand, once upon a time there was a bike shop in Van Nuys, and it was either called Campania's Bike Shop, and they imported these parts. I believe these parts are from Japan. I believe. I don't know if that's 100% certain, but that was the way I understood it. And they were good stuff. And he sold it. The bike shop sold them under the Campania brand. Now, it either goes that way, or it goes that he bought the parts from Campania and put them together and then sold them under the Campania name. So I don't know if Campania is his name, the bike's name, the bike shop's name. I don't know how all that works out. There's various versions of the story. Whenever I go on bike forums and I see anything about Campania, I'm immediately drawn to it just because I have one, because I'm curious as hell. I just eat up history, so I find out little tidbits of stuff and I go, huh, that's kind of cool. So you can see it still has the original, sorry about the noise, still has the original Sun Tour center pole brakes. The only thing that's different is the pads. Changed the pads out. What else? The drive is still stock. The derailleur and sprocket is still stock. Believe it or not, the chain is still stock. 40 years old, and that's still the original chain. It probably tells you what a lightweight I am on how many miles I ride a bike a day. So anyway, of course, it got me a kryptonite bike lock, and it got me this rinky-dink thing for my cell phone to put shit in. And I got this bike set up just about the way I want it. You can see my weird-ass red seat. Well, I got that online too. I didn't pick the color. That's just the way it was. But if you look at see if I can get a good shot of it, of the seats, all butts are different, right? What makes a good seat is just how it fits you. This one happened to fit me, even though it's red. And I think this seat's wearing out on me. But I love the seat. And the mark of a good seat is if you ride it all day and you don't think about the seat. You ride it all day and you don't think about nothing, then you know you got a good seat. If on the other hand, you're riding it all day and you're going, God damn, this seat's digging into my ass, man, I hate this damn thing. I gotta get home and go somewhere and get me a different seat. This sucks. So this is the first one. This one I don't think about. It's not too narrow, but it's not too wide. I don't want a saddle seat, and I don't want a razor thin seat that digs right into your nuts either. You know, I just want something that fits, and this fits. So this is the look that we got. Trying to think of what else I need to talk about with this thing. Oh, okay. A couple things left. Okay. Well, of course, this bike was a touring bike, meaning it had the curl over bars. This is still original. I'm not in this again. This is not original. I mean, this is original. It had the curl over bars down here, and it had them all the way up until maybe, hell, I don't know, 10 years ago when I changed them. Maybe not quite that long. I always, or let's put it this way, I never liked riding a bike in that position. Some people, that's all they ride. They like the curl under, they like that position of the body forward and down. I just don't like it. It's uncomfortable to me, it wears me out. So I said, you know what? I don't know what took me so long to change them. One day I finally says, I think probably I didn't think I knew how to do it. Because I didn't touch this bike for a long, long time. And finally I said, you know what? I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it the easiest way I can. So the easiest way was to leave this, because if I started messing with changing all this out, then I'm starting to get into a little area that's kind of like beyond me. You can see how this, you know, this little cable, you can loosen this clamp and drop this down, change your cable out and stuff. So you have to change this out, you have to change this all out. This has to be the right diameter, all of this stuff right there. I didn't want to mess with none of that. I said, you know what? The easier I can make this myself, the easier I can know I can complete the job. So I left that. And on this was the original shifters. This is 10-speed. So it had two shifters, lever shifters, one on each end for front and rear derailleur. And I kept it like that for quite a long time. And in fact, that's one of the last things that I changed. So what I did was I started shopping for bars. I said, okay, I'm gonna look around, and I went strictly online. You know, just kind of like looking around saying, okay, this looks kind of cool. And I ended up buying two different bars. I bought this one, and I bought one that was probably about this high. Pretty much the same, just about this high. So I said, I'm gonna try two different heights. So, drinking my coffee here. So I put the smaller ones on first. The ones to about right here. I took it out to the street, went about to the middle of the street, turned around, came right back in and said, nope, don't like these, too short. I need them a little bit longer. Okay, so I put these on, and at first I kind of thought, is that too much? And then I thought, well, at least I didn't go gooseneck. I mean, some people go as goosenecks. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to look like a 70-year-old burnout, dope smoking hippie cruising down the street on an old bike with gooseneck bars on it. So I said, no, I'm not going to go there. So I put these on here, and these were perfect. I drove it out to the street, and I just liked the body position. It was just, I said, okay, this is it. This is how this bike should have been when I got it. Why did it take me so long to do this? Okay, so I put the bars on. Luckily they fit. They were the right diameter. Okay, the next part is brakes. The brakes that you use on curlovers are totally different. They're backwards to start with. If you try to take them off and flip them over to put them on these type of bars, the bars would be backwards. There's just no way that they will fit. They're made for curl under only. So I started shopping around, and this is what I got. I just went cheapo, and I went with Tektro. Believe it or not, these cost me like $7. Now you can, if you look at them, they're small, simple. I have a perfect grip on my hand, and small. See the throw? I got the throw I just got it dialed in. I mean, if you look down there, oh, that's the wrong bar. Let's go this one. Boom, boom. If you look over here, boom. Let's see if I'm getting the whole thing. I don't know if I got the whole thing. Okay, boom, boom. See how tight that is? I got them perfect. And believe me, I was a dude that never did this before. So messing with cables and shit was like pretty daunting for me. Now I think I got it down, but man, it took me a while because I changed out all the cables. And so to be honest with you, the brakes took some amount of finesse, because you know, the dudes that do this shit for a living make it look simple. If you've never done it before, there's a couple little tricks you need to know, especially where you end up cutting the cable and knurling out the end so it's smooth, so you don't get that scratchy feel as the cable is sliding in and out. I had a real hard time with that, man. At first, I was going, oh, this is terrible, man. This is terrible. And I finally got it just right. Okay, the last thing I did, after I got the brakes working good, you can see these brakes, you can see the travel. perfect. Next thing I did was put shifters on it. I didn't like the shifters down here. I didn't like having to take my hand off the handlebar every time I wanted to shift. And plus you have to look down because these are old style shifters. They're not index shifters like pretty much everything else is these days. Index shifters are set up where they work by clicks. You click, for every click you get a gear change. And once you get it set up properly, it works pretty slick because you kind of always know what gear you're in once you get the hang of it. You know, click, 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 click. Well, these are not index shifters, nor can this thing even be adapted to, at least, I'll probably take that back. I guess it can be adapted, but it's way beyond my expertise. You'd have to get one of those bike dudes, man, because you'd have to change so much stuff, man. The derailleurs, and there's just no way was I going to change all that. You know, I got this bike. You know, I made the changes I have on it. The bike means a lot to me because it has a lot of history, and it has a lot of enjoyment to it. So there's just no way I'm going to go farther than this. So anyway, when I put these on, there was two choices I had. See if I can get good pictures of this. These here, there was only two of them that I could find online. One was made by, see, I'm not doing my homework here. One is made by Orange, I think, and another one is made by, God damn it. I'm sorry guys, the guys that made these parts, and I'm not giving you guys kudos because you deserve them. But anyway, there's only two. There's just no market for these anymore. Nobody buys them. If anybody has a bike like this, most of the time it's in the dump, or it's sitting in somebody's garage and it's rusted, or not in anybody's garage, in the backyard under a truck tire or something, and it's just rusted out solid and it couldn't even be driven. So you don't see too many of these that's in this kind of shape that people actually still ride. So there's that. And that's part of the appreciation for me, because I know that I'm not going to be able to go get a bike like this, no way in hell, for any kind of amount of money that I want to spend, that does everything that this one does. So this one will die with me. I wouldn't keep it, I wouldn't give it away, I wouldn't sell it. It's just priceless to me. Okay, so anyway, since it's not index, you pretty much set these up by knowing where your stop and your start point is on your derailleur. I'm not going to get down there, but you got a stop and a start screw on your derailleur. Well, how far out it goes, how far in it goes, so it can go from the inner sprocket to the outer sprocket. This is a 10-speed, like I said, so it's only got 5 sprockets on the back. Pretty simple, actually. Once you get your stops set right, because if you don't get your stop right, you'll go clear off the chain, clear off the sprocket on both sides. If you got the end one like not set right, it'll just keep them. When you move the lever, the chain will just come all the way off. So you have to get those right. Once you get them right, well, they're smooth sailing from then on, because then it's just all by feel. You know, this right here, you've got a screw right here that holds the tension. So you just move this, and it moves the sprocket, and you just go by feel. And after you do it a few times, you just know the feel. You just know right when it's not in between sprockets. And this has made so much difference to me, probably more than anything else that I've done to the bike, because now I don't have to take my hands off of the shift, and I just feel everything now. I just know where everything is. You know, once you ride it a minute, you know where your gears are. So I prefer this. I'm so thankful that they still make these right here, because otherwise I'd still be stuck with these right there. And I'm just jazzed. I'm just like a little kid jazzed on this part that I should have put on 30 years ago. And now I think I've come to the end. I don't know if I've mentioned anything else that I've done to this thing. Other than that, I'll continue to be a Campania fan. I'll continue to ride this thing the way I do. I see guys cruising down the street with their pointy helmets and they're curl over and they're hunched over, and I just wave to them and go, rock on, dudes. I'm sitting there upright, kicking back, comfortable as hell. My back ain't got no strain on it, and super cool. That's all about, dude. Super cool. So anyway, there's my worthless, nostalgic video of a bike you probably didn't want to know anything about, but just in case, maybe you got some nostalgia in you and you go, some of that shit is kind of cool. See ya.